Hey, peace and love, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Um, I'm going to start back doing these videos every week, do a weekly report as opposed to doing it every day. Just to give you an overview of what's going on in the market, what's happened in the previous week, and anticipating what's going to happen this week, what's going to be running, what to put on your watch list for you to take a look at this week. So let's get started. Let's get right to it and start off looking at S&P futures. Um, and we see that the futures have been, the S&P has been, it had went up on a nice run a couple weeks ago. And like for the week before last, it was just consolidating for quite a few days. And then last week we saw it dropping. Um, right now, as uh, it's looking like it's still bearish and whatnot. Yet we see that there's this trend line. So tomorrow is going to be very tricky to see what's going to happen, which way the market is going to look, um, and whatnot. Let's look at let's go a little further and look at um, the weekly chart, and we see this trend line starting back from last year sometime. It's been holding this trend line every time it bounces. So that's one bounce, that's two bounces, that's three bounces. So this time we're going to see, um, will it be able to hold the trend or not? Um, I would like to see it bounce. Looking back at the daily, I would like to say that it's going to bounce again and continue back upwards to around the 485 mark. However, also if we look at SPY, we will notice that on the daily chart of the SPY, uh, we see a lot of gaps down here as well. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day with the S&P uh, and how it looks, how it's looking right now. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day to see, is it going to hold above this trend and bounce, or is it going to continue to plunge? So tomorrow's going to be interesting. However, it doesn't even really necessarily matter that the S&P is falling, because I found a few sectors that are looking, that have been running last week, and they're looking to continue running this week coming up. So we'll get into those in a minute. Let's look at the Dow futures and how it's looking right now. We see that this is printing a really nice red candle um, on the Dow. It's already broken a previous trend line. If we look at the weekly, this is a similar trend line to what the S&P had on its weekly chart. And we see that it broke through a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. It's kind of been trying to fight to get back up here, but for whatever reason, it just isn't. It's struggling, right? And right now, today, we see it pulling um, bearish. So I'm bearish on the Dow in the market overall. But again, however, I can't stress that that doesn't necessarily mean that the whole market is going to be red and that everything is going to be bearish. I don't believe that at all. And I'm going to share a few tickers to keep on your watch list this week. Now we look at the NASDAQ. Oh, what happened there? We look at the NASDAQ and we see a lot of the same. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day with tech and the NAT, which trades on the NASDAQ. A lot of these companies, it's going to be very interesting. Is this support going to hold and we get a bounce, or is it going to collapse? I I'm gonna stay away from it and let it play itself out. The thing about trading is, you know, like it's not super difficult to figure out a direction, right? Because the market goes three ways. It either goes up, it goes down, or it goes sideways, right? But the thing about it is, so you could kind of predict or have a good idea of which direction is going to head. The thing about it is having the perfect timing, right? So I can't say with certainty by looking at the charts or anything that tomorrow the market we could wake up in the morning and the market, the Nasdaq, for instance, it plunges, or we could wake up and it surges, right? Uh, I can't say with certainty. So what I would do in a situation like this is I'll just leave that alone. I'm gonna stay away from it and go find things that are running. Go find things that are looking good. The charts are looking good, uh, despite what the major indices are doing. The future indices are dictating to us because even on those red days when a lot of things are pulling back and whatnot or bearish, there are stocks that are running. So last week, um, we looked at a few, for instance, like travel stocks, like the airlines. The airlines have been running. We've seen that this ETF, Jets ETF, I use these as indicators just to give me an overview of what's going on with a particular sector, right? So I'll use an ETF such as this just to give me an idea. So I can look here and see what's been going on with Jets. And last week we went in on calls um, with Boeing. Wow, that looks crazy. Let me take all that off. And we went in on Monday. So we were able to get into Boeing right here and ride it up. And we see a little consolidation on from Wednesday to a little pullback from Wednesday to Thursday, and then it popped again on Friday. Um, Also, Delta is another one. We see Delta um, had a breakout on Friday. And, this is looking pretty clean and whatnot. We should probably be able to ride this thing up to 45-ish at least at the minimum. That's a minimum target on Delta, as well as my favorite um, airline stock. It's a little hidden gem. Runs pretty well. I like the way it runs. Alaskan Air Group. We see they've broken out. Not really super in love with this candle, the finish of this candle, but I'll take it. It's still finished pretty strong and whatnot. And the upside, this has about at least we can get about $4 of price action off of this headed into next week. So that's looking good. Um, Other airline stocks. Oh, United. United is another one that broke out. Um, I'm liking this again, and the upside is looking really well on these. Also, other travel stocks like the cruise lines are running right now. RCL, we see that we got a nice pop at the early beginning of the week. Monday, Tuesday. Then we got to pull back on Wednesday and Thursday, and now it's trying to break out again. So it's kind of lagging from what we just seen that's taking place on the airline stocks. But again, if we could break out in the next couple of days and take out this high right here, this thing should go, and I think it will. Um, so these are just some stocks to put on your watch list. Um, Despite what the SPY is showing us, that it's looking bearish. All the major indices is looking bearish. I'm not. I shouldn't even. But they are bearish. They're pulling back. That's a better term to say that they're pulling back, because I don't think that is going to continue. I think that at some point they'll find support. Right now, NASDAQ is at a support. SPY is right above a support. So it's good. Tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day looking at those stocks in particular. So those are stocks to put on your watch list, those that are coming from the airlines. Airlines will be running next week, as well as banks. Banks will be running as well. Looking at Bank of America, went in on calls on them on Friday, and it's at a new high, and it's surging. That's a pretty strong, powerful candle right there. And I think they got earnings coming up very soon. All airlines and banks will have earnings coming up very soon. They report on the 18th, which is 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away. So it's looking pretty good. However, be mindful of this big, huge gap down here. But nevertheless, it's running pretty well and pretty strong right now. Not only them, Wells Fargo is another one that broke out on Friday, really took off, as well as my favorite bank, which didn't break out as the other ones did. Kind of, it's got to go and fill this gap up here. It has a gap from here to here that it's looking to fill. So I have no doubt that it will get back up there and fill this gap, and possibly get up to around $69 before the week is out. And then, yeah, that's it for the banks. Those three banks right there looking good. Goldman Sachs is actually my favorite, but I don't know what they aren't following the patterns of the rest of the other banks for whatever reason. Looks like it may have some kinks it needs to work out or whatever. So, when things like that it's not really giving you a clear indication of what's getting ready to happen or what's going on, just leave it alone and look for those that are that have a better pattern formed on it. So those are stocks to look at this upcoming week. Look for banks, and as well as airlines. And then let's look at Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin this week. We see Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been just dropping and consolidating. And I mean, all the way from here, you look at just consolidated and dropped, consolidated and dropped. It tried to struggled and whatnot. It's just getting beat up, out here in these markets, and it's coming down. It looks like it's found a support. However, if we look to the left, it looks like we found a support here, and now we got a reversal candle, and we got a higher high on this candle, and a higher low on this candle. So it could be reversing right here. Interesting to see what's going to happen with this in the morning. I think that we're going to be bullish on Bitcoin, as well as, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum seems to be a little bit off from let me get this off of here. Ethereum looks to be a little bit off from or lagging from what Bitcoin is doing. Um, but I like looking at Bitcoin and paying attention to them because one of the companies that I trade regularly is is CoinBase, and we see a similar pattern here. This candle is red, however, it did still create a higher high and a higher low. Um, it broke the trend line, which I don't necessarily like because let's zoom, if we look from the beginning, from the previous low, we've been running this trend line, and every time it hit this trend line, it would bounce. But this time it did not. So uh, keep this one on your watch list and pay attention to it. That this isn't a bull trap that you get caught in, and then whereas meaning that you get caught in here buying, and then it reverses on you like it did on Friday. It kind of pump faked, if you will, when it created a new high, but it also pulled back very hard. Quite a few stocks did that on Friday. Um, Something else I had got into on Thursday was Square, and it pulled back. It went and created a newer high, a higher high, but if you see it finished fully engulfed bearish. So um, is it going to continue to uh, pull back with the SPY? Possibly, but also it's been pretty consistent about holding this trend line, but it did kind of break through it. And so this is going to be another one to be, I'll be keeping an eye on to see what it do. In this market with things pulling back the way they are, the NASDAQ pulling back, the SPYs pulling back, um, and the Dow, when these are pulling back and things like that, when you see certain stocks, like even the airlines, you got to be careful with them because they're kind of, look at American Airlines. It's kind of going against what SPY is doing. SPY is pulling back, but American is still running. I mean, the airlines are still running. So you got to be careful with those and not fall in love with them and hold them too long. You got to scalp in a market when the market is bearish, the market is going against you. That doesn't mean things can't run. They do run at times, but you can't fall in love with it and stay there all week or all day or whatever. Get in, get your money, and get on. But so a lot of things are looking. Tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day. How the major indices look. Very interesting day tomorrow. Are we going to continue to? Is SPY going to continue to pull down and break that level of support, um, which is right here? Is it going to break this trend line and come down a little further? I kind of think it will. I kind of think it's going to pull back uh, pretty hard. I'm hoping it don't. I'm hoping it reverses, but I can't allow. Uh, I can't allow. I have to trade what's right there in front of me, not wishful thinking. Everything about this thing is telling me that it's going down. Why? Because it's been going down for 4 straight days. Headed into this day. This candle is actually from today. So there's nothing, there's no resistance, there's no moving average or anything like that it can bounce at. Matter of fact, the next moving average ain't until 45.77. So it very well could pull back, another $8, and then reverse. But again, like I said, SPY has quite a few gaps on the chart. And at some point, those gaps got to get filled, but who knows when that will be. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in, and appreciate it if you hit the like button and hit the share button. Help me to grow the channel. I appreciate you all. Uh, I was just thinking about y'all this morning. Good to see you posted. Hey, what's up, Shay? Uh, Neo's Insight. What the hell is that? Yeah. Send me some tickers in the comment section and whatnot, and then I'll be able to um, look at some stocks for you all and give you my honest opinion on those. But that's the report for the week. Be on the lookout for banks and the airlines, and have a great week of trading. Be careful with your entries, things like that. If you have any questions or anything like that or concerns, reach out to me. I still do what I've been doing lately is working with people more one-on-one. Uh, been doing consultations and things like that and doing trainings, technical analysis trainings, um, with things like resistance and support, teaching about trend lines and um, uh, all kinds of things, candlestick patterns, all those kinds of things that technical analysis involves. So if you need any help in that area, reach out to me. Appreciate you all for the love and the support, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.